I'm here with Ms. Hexum. Could you tell us what classes you teach here in high school?
I teach FACS Exploration, Child Development and Guidance, Housing Design and Fashion Design 1, Housing and Fashion Design 2, Creative Textiles 1, Textiles 2 Otter Store.
Could you tell us a little about each one?
FACS Exploration is a required 9th grade class where you talk about careers, who you are, and then we take a little commercial break about all the different classes that you can take in the FACS department in high school. Child Development and Guidance is for juniors and seniors who are maybe looking at occupations dealing with children or just information about raising their own family. Housing and Fashion Design 1 is an introduction to housing design, as interior design as well as fashion. And then in Design 2, we take that a little farther for each side. And then it would be Creative Textiles 1. We have things like knitting, crocheting, sewing, all of the media arts. And then in Textiles 2, you would be responsible for making everything in the school store.
I hear you have a couple independent studies. Could you tell us what that is and what they do?
So once you've taken Textiles 2, which you do not have to take Textiles 1 first, you just have to have permission from me. But once you've taken Textiles 2, where you have learned how to use the equipment for the school store, like our embroidery machines, our heat presses, our software where we design things, then you can take an independent study with me on your free hour, and you would just continue learning and working with what you've already been doing in the school store.
This is Cassidy Seipel here with
Mrs. Anderson.
Miss Anderson. Will you let us know what classes you teach?
Sure, I teach financial and life management, so I will get all of you 8th graders back in 11th grade for financial life management, where we talk about finance, we talk about communication, we talk about relationships, and we talk about careers again, so trying to fine-tune that. I also get to teach a really fun class called Cultural Foods. We're actually changing the name of that to Advanced Foods. And we're going to still do the cultural foods, but we're going to add a little bit more to that so you can really brush up on your culinary skills. And I also teach, of course, 8th graders. And then right now I'm teaching 1 period a day at the ALC.
And what are the most popular classes?
Well, since I only have 1 elective class that everybody gets to choose, I would say the most popular is Cultural Foods, because it's a fun class to take as a junior or senior. You learn a lot about cooking, learn a lot about foods, but also learn a lot about shopping for yourself as you go off on your own, and so it's a very valuable class.
Kaylee Graff with Ms. Suter. Ms. Suter, which classes do you teach in the high school?
French 1, 2, and 3.
Could you tell us about French 1, 2, and 3?
Well, the requirements for French 1 is simply that you enroll, and typically a student will take 2 semesters. To take French 2, you need to have completed French 1, and so forth.
And I heard you guys go on a trip. Can you tell us the requirements for that?
Right. To go on our trip, we've taken 8 trips abroad. To go on our trip, you need to study French for 2 years. And we have a different itinerary. This year we're going to England and France.
Ooh, that sounds great. Thank you. I'm Kaylee Graff here with Mrs. Weldy. Mrs. Weldy, could you tell us about girls track?
Girls track is a sport that you should consider. We start in March and we go to the beginning of June. The beauty of track and field is that it has so many different events to offer. Some people say, well, I don't like to run. Well, you don't really have to. There's jumping events, long and triple jump. There's throwing events, shot and discus. There's hurdling, which is a variation of running. And then, of course, there's sprinting and there's distance. And now in Fergus Falls, we've added pole vault for the first time ever. Well, not ever, since the 80s. And we're really excited to do that. And so there really is something for everybody.
Well, there's some reasons people should join track.
Well, the one thing about track is it occurs in the spring, and the weather is just so beautiful. And you get out on that beautiful track and now the turf there and spend your days out there. That's just wonderful to do. You just get outside getting fresh air and traveling together. Another thing is that, our boys team and our girls team travels together. It's a real social thing. And so that's kind of fun for athletes to be a part of. and just getting in really good shape. We get a lot of athletes from football that want to get faster, so they come out to run and they sprint and they jump and they do the plyometrics with us. And another part that we're able to do, our sport is it covers so many different aspects of athletics that if you're going to weightlift with Mr. Rats, we can modify for other sports, so you can still be lifting for your sport but make it work for track and field also. So we kind of cover it all.
Okay, thank you.